Cup final last weekend. This is the chance for United to erase all the disappointment. Famous NSL title winners, Adelaide City, Brisbane Strikers and Apia Leichhardt have all knocked out A-League's opposition, but Sydney United are yet to add their name to the list. Today, they get that chance once again. Here is Miro Vlastelitz's side, who lost the cup final to Sydney United last Sunday. There's only one change from that team, Patrick Antelmi. He scored the most goals for an NPL player in the Australia Cup. The former Western United man, he's out with a hamstring injury, replaced by defender Jordan Roberts in a reshuffled side. For Western United, John Aloisi makes a couple of changes from the team that knocked out Melbourne Victory, the cup holders. Swiss defender Leo Lacroix is out with hamstring tightness, with Ben Collins slotting into the centre-back role. Dylan Parias is also promoted from the bench, with Sydney United 58 product Nick Milanovic dropping back to the bench. Stephen Lucas in charge of this one this afternoon, with Matt McCorrist, Andre Chiev as his assistant referees, Kelly Jones, the fourth official. And for Sydney United 58, opportunities like this don't come around that often. For some, it might be their final chance to cause a cup set to knock out A-League's opposition. So on this perfect afternoon in the west of Sydney, this is the chance for United to create a memory to last a lifetime. Ben Homer with you for the call alongside Grace Gill. Grace, this one shapes as a special contest.
Afternoon, Ben. A pleasure to be alongside you here at the beautiful Adenza Park here in Western Sydney. It's a warm afternoon, a bit of a breeze though, but it's a hot synthetic surface out there, and I'm sure that's going to play into the match we see this afternoon.
Yeah, so far this season in the NPL, Sydney United at home, 4 wins in 11 matches. They did, of course, get the job done here against Monero on August 3. 3-0, a fairly comfortable looking scoreline, but as you remember, Grace, from calling that one, Monero really put the pressure on in the opening half hour. So that is probably the part of the match that Sydney United want to improve on. They have to against Western United. So United, they both stand, but one of these clubs will fall today as they chase a spot in the last 8 of the Australia Cup for the first time in club history. The question is, Grace, Western United, they could do it on a cool evening in Melbourne. Can they do it on a warm afternoon in Sydney?
And at Sydney United 58's home ground as well. Crowds just starting to fill in nicely here at Adenza Park. Really good turnout there on the hill on the far side, so I'm sure there'll be a vocal set of fans.
Yeah, well, isn't it a fabulous showing here at Sydney United Sports Centre? And already there's a break, a chance for Parias. He's taking on his opposite number, and it's off the crossbar. Nizic's goal lives the charm life early on. Lockie Wales now with an opportunity. And that's shut off by Fragigiannis. Nervy moments for the home side.
That's an excellent early look there for Western United. A few raised eyebrows there, whether or not that one did go over the goal line. It was a bit hard to tell from where we were, but really great aggressive play to get Western United, that is, underway.
Yeah, it was the issue for Sydney United a couple of weeks ago against Monero. They can't afford that again today. Here is a free kick for Western United. Interesting as well, you mentioned the synthetic pitch, not something that Western play many competitive matches on, if any. So how do they adapt to it? And the heat just baking off the surface. Here's this chance from Risdon. You may not have seen there, but the ball cannoned off the crossbar onto the line. It didn't look as though it had crossed. Set piece though. This is Risdon looking for Collins. Nizic was a little concerned about it. There was no issue for Sydney United in the end.
A little lax defensively there though. Collins, tall timber, sent up for that set piece, and had a really good look at that header there, an unchallenged header right on the 6-yard box, and Nizic can take a sigh of relief.
So Western United, straight off the back of that huge win in the round of 32 against Melbourne Victory, who have had a somewhat more jam-packed pre-season schedule, taking on Man United. Unfortunately, though, maybe that result doesn't stand as tall as what we thought at the time based on Man United's start to the Premier League season, but it's such an impressive result, getting through to this final 16 for Western. Wales will earn another free kick after collision with Tomilic. Ben Collins. And Garuccio to Wenzel Halls. Bozanovsky has it pinched off his toes. And Mayer linking with Kaneko. Only played 6 matches in the NPL this season, Tassai Kaneko, and that's because the international transfer clearance wasn't completed after he came over from the Yokohama Sports and Culture Club in the J3 League. So he's virtually like a new signing for the home team, Sydney United.
I can tell you he was really sprightly against the Monero Panthers the other week. He was really the connecting player for Sydney United 58. Did a wealth of work and is just so tidy on the ball. I'm sure we'll see more of that from Kaneko this afternoon.
Connor Payne is Wenzel Hall's offside. The Sydney United defenders, including their captain Adrian Vlastelica, certainly thought so, and so too the assistant.
Yeah, it's an easy shout there. Wenzel Hall's just drifted into an offside position. Made light of work that for Sydney United 58's defensive line.
It's just chipped into space where Bozanovsky was occupying for Western. Imai out to Risdon, who almost opened the scoring with a rare goal. A good link up by Wales. He's going to earn another free kick as Piraeus was run off the ball. And this is the start that John Aloisi would have been asking for from his side. They have been all over Sydney United in the opening 5 minutes. So Bozanovsky is going to leave it, and it's a curling delivery, which is going to earn them another set piece in the form of a corner.
Sydney United just having to do a lot of defensive work at the moment, absorbing a lot of pressure in these opening minutes. Not entirely unsurprising, but this set piece will give Western United another early look.
Short to Bozanovsky, and then Garuccio trying to link back up with Wales. It was very well read by Jordan Roberts, but it spills for Bozanovsky. Payne and Lustica. Piraeus is going to find Imai. And Garuccio just chipping towards Connor Payne. There's a shank of a clearance from Fragigiannis. He'll get another opportunity here. Finds Roberts. Kaneko earns his side a throw. So finally a bit of possession down Western United's end of the ground. It's been a really difficult start for the home team. It's been a challenging season for United. Missed the finals. Lost the Waratah Cup final to NWS Spirit, who of course aren't playing in the NPL in the second division. They were expecting to win that one. Lost their coach Joe Hayward midway through the season. So this is their final match of the season if they lose. So everything's on the line today for Sydney United. They can really go at Western United and know that it's season over if they don't get the job done. Risdon charging after the ball, beating Kaneko. Good delivery to Connor Payne. And Sydney United able to defend the situation. It was Yanni Fragigiannis that got back to put Payne under pressure, and the other Payne, Chris Payne, is in a bit of a push and shove with Ben Collins at the other end of the ground. It was an off-the-ball incident. Collins, the youngster, the 22-year-old, going toe-to-toe with the 31-year-old former A-League player Chris Payne.
And fair to say, the youngster in Collins has gotten into the head there of the senior citizen Chris Payne. He was really influential in their round of 32 game against the Monero Panthers, was Chris Payne, but he's frustrated by that challenge there.
Well, that was interesting to say the least. It's not often you see that. Bit of a set to, totally off the ball. The ball was nowhere near Payne and Collins. But if there's one man you want to get off his game, it's Chris Payne, because he is the star for Sydney United. What a season he's had, even though they have struggled. 9 in the NPL. He scored 4 goals in 5 cup matches across his career. That's after the round of 32, or from the round of 32 onwards.
And to be fair, against the Monero Panthers, he did start a little bit quietly. It took him a good part of that first half to really settle into the game. But he has started, as we saw a couple of moments ago, pretty assertively in this match against Western United.
Scored that fabulous goal to get them back into the cup final last week against Spirit. They weren't able to pull back the 2-goal deficit, losing it 2-1 in the end. But he's the man for this kind of occasion.
And of course, without his strike partner, Antelme, who was just fantastic as well in United 58's last match.
Yeah, Patrick Antelme out with that hamstring issue. He was forced off in the cup final 5 minutes in. And big loss, because he is the equal leading goal scorer in the Australia Cup final rounds for a non-A-Leagues player. Lockie Wales bearing down on goal. Fragigiannis again with a key toe in. Spills for Steve Lustica, coming off his best season in the A-League men's competition. Garuccio, Wenzel Halls. Floating it towards Wales, just behind him. Tomalich got the header in.
Yeah, Wales looking pretty dangerous early on the ball, getting some good important touches there, but you did mention Fragigiannis, an important toe, an important intervention.
Lockie Wales looks up, hits it towards Wenzel Halls with some power. Spilled out for Bozanovsky, and now Garuccio. Won Western United's Player of the Year in June, the last season. And he's feeding Parias here. And Sydney United, they're just doing enough at the moment, aren't they? Bozanovsky.
Sydney United 58 with more or less all players behind the ball except for Chris Payne on the occasion. They're leaving him as the outlet target striker up top, but they are just having to defend for their lives at the minute, absorbing a whole lot of pressure. And Western United, they're building really nicely just outside Sydney United 58's 18-yard box and starting to create some really nice tidy combinations in that area of the field.
Vlastelica, son of the coach, Miro Vlastelica, who took over in May. He's been in charge throughout their cup run. Those wins in the early rounds against Quakers Hill, Rockdale, that was a big 1-0 win. Hurstville, Zagreb, and then Northern Tigers before Monero. Parias on the angle, blazes it at Nizic. And the one-time Western Sydney Wanderer makes another key save in this first half.
That was a quality save there by Nizic. Had to get down really quickly to collect, and he did push it out into oncoming traffic, but fortunately for Sydney United 58, they had enough numbers there to clear.
Winning a majority of these free kicks at the moment, Western United. Collins. Wales is giving chase. He's giving Daniel Nizic some headaches today, but the goalkeeper was out to make the grab. Did play that one A-League men's match in 2018 after Vedran Janjetovic was sent off in the Sydney Derby. 4 cup matches for Western Sydney. For the Sydney United 58 goalkeeper, Fragigiannis. Linking with Roberts, over the top for Chris Payne. And he's just been run off the ball expertly by Ben Collins. The 22-year-old again showing his quality. He was on the bench for a lot of last season, Ben Collins. Just played the one match, the final round of the season against Adelaide United. And I love that about what John Aloisi's doing at Western. You have to earn your spot. He's not just going to give you a debut first time you sit on the bench. You've got to sit on there for a while, and Ben Collins has earned his spot.
He absolutely has, and John Aloisi looked to be particularly pleased with that piece of defending, and it was brilliant individual defending, just using strength and body really, really well. Chris Payne increasingly frustrated as this match wears on, but it's a fantastic matchup between those two players that's really shaping up this afternoon.
Yeah, Payne versus Collins. It is a title fight to watch here. Part of this Australia Cup match. This is the other Payne, that's Connor. Finding Garuccio. Mayer. And this is Chris Payne. 3 goals in his last 3 and 2 assists in that win against Monero. Big crowd here at Sydney United Sports Centre at Adenza Park. Fantastic to see everyone out on a beautiful sunny afternoon in Sydney. And the home team holding strong thus far, but this could cause some headaches as Wenzel Halls is offside.
Sydney United 58 there afforded a bit of a lifeline. Western United are just building really nicely. I mentioned it there a couple of moments ago, but I almost think Sydney United 58 just holding off a little bit too much, allowing Western to build and build really nicely, starting to connect some good passes just outside the 18-yard box, and they are putting in a few threatening balls like that one there. They're looking promising at the moment, Western.
And it was an intriguing thread to, well, hang on a second. Chris Payne is down again. Ben Collins stands over him. Well, once again, these two have come together. The first 16 minutes has been the Payne and Collins show here at Adenza Park, and this time Chris Payne, he's not getting to his feet.
Yeah, he looks to be in a fair bit of discomfort there. A little apologetic tap perhaps there from Collins. I didn't quite catch the challenge on that occasion, but yeah, Chris Payne does not look to be in a great deal of comfort.
He's the second most experienced in terms of A-League's matches in this Sydney United team.
Yeah, look, nothing in that from my point of view. Just looks like a good physical challenge. It's hard to see exactly Chris Payne has rolled an ankle or got his stud caught in the turf.
Well, they can't afford to lose him. The magic spray is out. And Chris Payne, 41 A-Leagues matches across his career. Sydney FC, North Queensland Fury and the Newcastle Jets. Also spent some time with East Bengal in India. And now back for his 3rd stint at Sydney United. So Antelmi not playing today. Chris Payne has a little bit of a forlorn look about him.
And that would be a big loss if Chris Payne was unable to continue for Sydney United 58.
Well, this is not looking good at all. Based on the way he's walking off the field, you would expect Chris Payne not to come back out onto Adenza Park, but we've seen similar. We've seen players come off not looking good and then recover after just warming it back up again. So we'll see if he does continue.
You mentioned as well, Ben, for Sydney United, this is their last match really to be able to throw everything at. Disappointing NPL season, disappointing result in the Cup last weekend.
Well, Chris Payne, he's back out there. Looks to be moving all right, but, you know, with ankles, next 5 minutes will probably give us a fair indication as to whether he's all right. Payne. Garuccio. Ben Garuccio winning goal of the season in the A-League men's competition last year with that spectacular strike, and that pass from Lustica beyond his captain Josh Risdon.
Garuccio, though, for me, these opening few minutes, he's been really lively, finding himself in good spaces between lines, and I thought on that occasion he might have unleashed, but he's looking to connect with his teammates. But yeah, really quality touches in between lines from Garuccio.
Became the 6th A-League men's player to win back-to-back championships with 2 different teams in consecutive seasons. So Seb Ryle, Nick Fitzgerald, Berisha, Mitch Austin and Marco Tilio, the other 5 players. Some famous names joined by Ben Garuccio. Wenzel Halls was collected by Mayer, got the pass to Wales, and here is Risdon. Looks up, sees Parias, he's got some speed, the flag is up saying that there was an arm in there. He's saying it was shoulder, but the assistant had a good angle.
That was very nearly a delightful touch there by Parias, and it looked from this angle to be brought down on his chest, but as you mentioned there, the official definitely had the better view of that one, and he's just collected that on his arm. But otherwise, what was very close to being a lovely ball over the top.
Winning the header, spills for Lustica. Again, looking forward, really looking to use the speed of their front men. Wenzel Halls just stood on the ball at the crucial moment, but Payne was able to charge down the attempted clearance from Vlastelica. Garuccio. This is Reece Bozanovski. Back-to-back starts for him in the Australia Cup for the 18-year-old. His grandfather actually captained the Maltese national team. Reece Bozanovski, so has some real pedigree. Mayer has it picked off him by Lustica. Picardis, there's a chance for Sydney United if they can break quickly. Kaneko looks and sees Roberts just behind him, and now he stumbles. But the Japanese import continues the run. Imai with the clearance. Roberts again, here's a corner. The volume rises. An opportunity for the home team from the set piece.
And that's a much better move there from Sydney United 58. Promising touches, a good quick break forward, and it caught Western United just a little unorganised at the back there.
So the corner is on its way and it's into the head of Wales. See Miro Vlastelica coming to the edge of his technical area. Former Sydney FC and Western Sydney Wanderers youth coach, and actually coached Sydney United 58 to the grand final in the NPL New South Wales back in 2019, where they went down to Apia Leichhardt. Of course, the next year they did claim the silverware. Risdon. A chance for him to stretch the legs, and Piraeus, that's good intensity. One back by Bilic. But here come Western again. Western United looking to be really patient here. Ben Garuccio crying for the ball down the left edge. Finally, it's going to be fed to him. No non-A-Leagues teams have been able to beat A-Leagues opposition in this edition, the 8th of the Australia Cup. So a massive opportunity for Sydney United to put themselves up in lights. I spoke about it before the match, the famous teams that have done it before. Adelaide City, Brisbane Strikers, Apia Leichhardt, just to name a few. Big clubs in Australian football like Sydney United 58, and they will want to join that list.
You can see in this opening 25 minutes, so just the quality differentials between the touches, the sharpness, the speed at which the play is happening. Western United are just so tidy on the ball, really controlling the tempo of this opening half.
And it really amplifies the quality, the technical ability on a synthetic pitch, doesn't it? So the ball really does fizz along the surface.
So your touch has got to be pretty special, pretty flawless, and when it comes zipping in at you, Western United displaying some pretty handy technical skills early on.
But every minute that ticks by, a little tick for Sydney United. We've seen teams that have got close. Bentley during the week, they almost got to half-time, conceded. Newcastle Olympic pushed Melbourne City. They conceded just before half-time. So this passage now, this 20-minute period, if they can get themselves into the second half back on level terms, all of a sudden the belief is only going to start to build for the men in red, white and blue.
And the longer they can hold them out as well, the longer Sydney United can just hold Western at bay. A bit of frustration might just start to settle in. We're not seeing any of that yet. I feel as though Western really comfortable on the ball, just controlling, dictating tempo. But the longer it remains at 0-0, that might start to wear in.
Poscaliero, centre back, linking with Fragigiannis and then Mayer. Chris Payne with the touch. Jordan Roberts just was checked by Connor Payne. Jamie Young, what a season he had last year. Looking to carry that on again in the 22-23 season.
So love that pairing of Collins and the experience of Jamie Young.
Kaneko off down the left, has Roberts making the run towards the box. Sits it back for An opportunity for Picartis, and that's as close as they've come, Sydney United 58.
That's a really good look for the home side there. Picartis, he's got to do better with that shot. He's got plenty of time to get his head up and his chest over the top of the ball, but just that slight lean back has seen it sail over the crossbar, and he won't get too many opportunities like that on top of the 18-yard box.
8 matches for Western Sydney between 2013 and 2015. Yanni Picartis, before he joined Blacktown City, played for Blacktown Spartans as well. Also has played in Cyprus and also the Philippines with Global FC. He was also recruited by Perth during that COVID season in 2020, where a lot of the clubs were playing out of Sydney in that hub. Ben Collins, just feel like he's one for the future for Western United. They've got some experienced centre halves, and he's certainly one to slot right in there, as here is another free kick for Western United. It is from a fair way out.
Just see another look at this one. A little nibble at the heels there of Wenzel Halls.
Garuccio, good run down the left, shut down by Fragigiannis. 7th season at Sydney United 58 for Yanni. He's been a consistent player for them in the NPL. 16 appearances, 14 starts for him. But Garuccio again is able to find himself in some space, and if he gets more opportunities like that, he will put it right on the head of one of his main men in the middle, the likes of Wenzel Halls or Piraeus.
It's a good solid grab there by Nizic. Strong hands.
Garuccio, what a touch to Lustica, and then Lockie Wales. Well, Grace, you were touching on the close control. I know it breaks down eventually, but you were touching on this before, just the quality of Western United in tight areas. It's on show again here. Wales, Wenzel Halls crashes into the woodwork. What a blazing strike that was from Dylan Wenzel Halls.
That was a lovely hit there from Wenzel Halls. Nothing but the woodwork stopping that one. He had Nizic beat. That was a spectacular hit.
Never scored in the Australia Cup, Dylan Wenzel Halls. Lockie Wales has touched straight to Melic. Kaneko searching for Payne, instead found Imai. Yeah, 5 goals last season in the A-League men's for Dylan Wenzel Halls. He started on fire, but then it was Prijovic who really took much more of the limelight in the goal-scoring sense. And there's rumours as to whether he will be at the club. He's currently overseas, I'm told, at the moment. So not back with the squad. One of those big names who aren't playing today. Neil Kilkenny, he's away with his family at the moment. Topor Stanley recovering from his foot injury, and Diamanti recovering from the knee injury. And James Troisi, he's cup-tied, which brings us to an interesting point, which I don't know if we have a whole lot of time to explore, but it's when those playoff matches are played between the bottom teams. We're seeing a number of players who have switched clubs, now cup-tied. And when you're finishing at the bottom of the A-League, usually there are a lot of player movements from those teams, so it would make sense maybe to schedule those playoff matches closer to the round of 32 so you don't have players cup-tied. Anyway, discussion for another
Here we
day,
are.
Grace. Roberts into the shin of Imai.
But with the players you just listed there, Ben, it does also speak to the quality that still has to come back into this Western United side. And they're really controlling things this afternoon. So add some of those names back into the fray and it's looking pretty dangerous.
Yeah, it is, even without Prijovic, who I think everyone's expecting to go. And then Garuccio has his opportunity there snuffed out. Yanni Picardis has had a busy start to this one, had that strike moments ago. We've just got a shin pad issue. Thought it was Imai, and it was.
A stray shin pad, I think, after a pass out a couple of moments earlier.
Do you cut the sock of your... do you cut the bottom of your sock like these players? Because that's the issue. It's actually flown out from up and under the sock. Because
yeah, a lot of players you find, personally I don't, a lot of players you find do cut the bottom of their sock and wear the grip socks are equivalent to get that better traction in their boot. So there you go.
It's the little 1%ers, those grip socks. Fragigiannis. Payne and Collins again. Steve Lucas says no free kick. The home fans pretty frustrated with that decision, but on that occasion, it looked as though maybe he deserved one. Lockie Wales versus Tomilic, and another corner.
Yeah, the fans at Sydney United Sports Centre weren't fond of that call or lack thereof on that occasion.
The issue is, though, because he's had a little bit of a set to with Collins earlier, now Stephen Lucas is probably less inclined. So Ben Garuccio. He's curling it into the head of Risdon again. This time Wenzel Hall's denied by Nizic. Well, that is miraculous how Western United haven't opened the scoring. First through Risdon, and now Imai's involved. Gee whiz, it is all kicking off here. Imai straight into the back of Picardis. And there's some real push and shove, some real feeling. It's been simmering this match for the opening 35 minutes. And maybe now it's just started to explode.
Definitely tensions building here. Imai didn't need to go through the back there of Picardis. Western United are well and truly in control of this game here. And that opportunity moments earlier with Risdon.
Well, Risdon, there's so much to unpack there, Grace. Risdon's chance. Then we had the opportunity for Wenzel Halls. I do not know how Nizic saved it. That was all reflex. Imai, well, he's lucky he's probably only going to get a yellow card here, Imai. What do you think, Grace, based on that?
Yeah, look, it's a bit of a tricky one there. He's gone in with, I'd say, a little too much contact. It was hard to say whether he was going for the push or an arm around the shoulder, but here we have another look at the corner that's been swung in. It's a beautiful header by Risdon. This save, though, by Nizic, that's spectacular. Down to his right. How he kept that out, I'm not sure, but Imai, he's lucky on that occasion. You really have to be so careful making that kind of contact with the back of a player, whether there's malice or not.
Well, the Sydney United fans are right up and about, making plenty of noise. Now, Chris Payne comes across to have a chat to Steve Lucas. There's Miro Vlastelica on the bench, Sydney United 58 coach. Well, it's been simmering along this match. It's come to the boil there. Western United maybe a little frustrated that they haven't been able to breach the Sydney United 58 goal.
This is the frustration I touched on a bit earlier, that Western United might just start to feel to come into their game if the longer that Sydney United 58 hold them out.
Lockie Wales down the right. Wenzel Halls again finding some space just over the head. And now Garuccio. Connor Payne. chipping towards Wales. The header away. And now the free kick goes to the home team.
Yeah, look, tension's really starting to boil over here. Western United don't need to engage in this. They're well and truly in control of this match. That goal will come. They've hit the woodwork on 2 occasions now, and it's just that frustration starting to wear into their game.
Well, as we've touched on, the final match of Sydney United 58 season, if they lose it. And an opportunity to make it through to the final 8 of the Australia Cup for the first time in club history for both of these two clubs. And Sydney United, they did play in the Australia Cup back in the 60s. They never made it through to the quarterfinals back then either.
The last couple of minutes definitely have sprung a bit of life into Sydney United legs, though. Playing with a little bit of spark at the moment.
Kaneko, he did go down fairly easily. This time the whistle goes the way of the Japanese import, but just the energy all of a sudden around this match in the last few minutes has gone to another level.
Tell you what, the volume has lifted here at Sydney United Sports Centre.
Fragigiannis allowed to play advantage.
We had Mark Bosnich coming and knocking on our window asking if that was meant to be a red card on him there.
Well, there's some big names in the house. That shows you the stakes of this match here at Adenza Park. Picardus. You just got to love cup football. Fragigiannis, well shut down by Wenzel Halls.
And look, this is a really big 5 minutes for Sydney United FC. If they can hold out and go into the sheds at 0-0 apiece at half time, that's a huge momentum boost for them. And Western United, I think, equally just probably need to take stock and take a step back and recognise that they have had a foothold on this game for the majority of this opening half, and just not to engage in those frustrated moments.
Yeah, this massive period, isn't it? 5 minutes before halftime, we often see this is the period of matches where A-League clubs can snatch a goal and all of a sudden you're 1-0 heading into halftime and the team talks a little deflated for the NPL/member association club. So this is the moment where they really have to be on red alert. Am I finding Wales?
Someone who can take a lot of confidence from this first 45 minutes is Nizic. In between the sticks for Sydney United 58. Hasn't he come up big on a couple of occasions?
Yeah, you can see why he earned that trial opportunity at Portsmouth back in 2012. Spent some time at Burnley and also Morecambe in League 2. Played a couple of seasons there before he returned to Western Sydney, and now he's been with Sydney United 58 for 3 seasons. And don't forget, straight after this one on 10 play, Peninsula Power and Green Gully. The Queensland Giants up against the Victorian heavyweights. Of course, Green Gully famous for that cup run a number of years ago where they knocked out the Central Coast Mariners thanks to that Liam Boland goal. So that's to come in the round of 16, and then we've got those 4 matches on Wednesday night to wrap it all up. Mayer, Roberts, and Fragigiannis. Tarek Mayer on the ball. Tomilic, good turn into space. And the release for Roberts in a foot race with Garuccio. He gets goal side. Jordan Roberts onto Chris Payne. It's a tight angle. He wins a corner. Well, Sydney United, they are finishing this half the stronger.
That was a great run there by Jordan Roberts. Excellent use of his body, his speed, physicality. It's not many times this afternoon we've seen Garuccio beat to the ball, but absolutely Roberts had his number on that occasion.
Well, what a match this is shaping up to be. Collins with the header. It's Payne trying to pull out another spectacular volley. Couldn't repeat the dose from the cup final last week.
I thought Roberts probably could have had a shot there too and unleash, and he's opted for the back heel to Payne and created a super tight angle for himself. It was hard to cut that one back. He had Picardus at the top of the 6-yard box, who was begging for a cut back, begging for the ball to his feet.
Parias. Kaneko chasing back, and there it is. Right before halftime, Connor Payne scores off a Western United counter-attack. And that's why they won the championship last year. Raids like that, and they do it again in the Australia Cup round of 16.
Well, Connor Payne, a really tidy finish on that occasion. He's got the edge on Fragigiannis, just beat him to the ball. A lovely delivery into the box, and unfortunately for Nizic, nothing he can do on that occasion after a really impressive first 45 minutes. But a very neat, very professional finish from Connor Payne.
Third goal in his 11th Australia Cup match. And it's fascinating, isn't it? Coming into this one, you were wondering, Western United, they're a side that loves to soak up pressure, strike on the counter-attack. How are they going to go against a team that probably was going to sit back? Well, you saw right there, they soaked up the pressure and they sting right before half-time. And that is a huge blow for Sydney United because the crowd were right into it. The energy was with them, as was the momentum. And now they're behind 1-0.
Just about being able to manage a game into half-time.
Parias. It could be two. Wales good save, Nizic. Another reflex save from the Sydney United 58 goalkeeper.
Well, Nizic once again standing up big for United 58, and a really important save. Had Wales tucked that one away just before half-time, it would have been a really difficult second 45.
Well, they can't let their heads drop here. They cannot concede a second, the home team. Garuccio sending it and bending it round. Beats everyone.
It's a lucky drop of the ball on that occasion. As you mentioned, Bennett beat all of Sydney United's rather defensive headers in there and has gone out for a goal kick. But United 58 have really ridden their luck this first 45 minutes, and they'll be disappointed going in at halftime, one down. But to be fair, it's probably a more accurate representation of the dominance that Western United have had in this first half.
So Kelly Jones just confirming a couple of additional minutes. They've got plenty of options off the bench for the second half. Sydney United, the likes of Kyle Cementi, played for MacArthur, just a one match in the A-League men's, but part of that squad a few years ago. Glenn Trefiro, such an experienced player, former Central Coast Mariner. So there's some quality off the bench if they want to try and turn this match back into their favour. But it's going to be an uphill battle. Connor Payne seeing Garuccio. Wales making himself present down the left. Poscaliero, the ex-Perth Glory, Central Coast Mariners man. Also some time at Mounties Wanderers before moving to Sydney United. So just seconds remaining in this first half. Flag up against Lachie Wales. Bit of a push from Tomilic, and off they go again. So he didn't really have to get involved there, Lachie Wales, did he? You could see what Tomilic was trying to do with his team up 1-0, but he still got involved, and they just have got under their skin.
And this is really where a professional outfit like Western United have to keep their heads. They have to keep their cool. They are in command of this first 45 minutes.
So they fought hard, Sydney United 58. right up until the last couple of minutes, where a swift counter-attack from Western United. It was classy, and it was Connor Payne that scored his third goal in the Australia Cup final rounds. Sydney United, they are going to have to respond in the second half. Half-time, Sydney United 58-0, Western United 1. As we have a look back at the best bits of the first 45 minutes, that was a great chance for Yanni Picardis after it was all Western United to start the game. But then Wenzel Halls had a couple of chances, Grace, hitting the post, and then Nizic denying him here.
Look, between Wenzel Halls and the woodwork this afternoon, there's been some really great opportunities for Western United. They'll be frustrated not to have capitalised better on those chances that they are creating, because first part of this first half, definitely Western United, a flourish of chances.
What a ball that was from Piraeus onto Connor Payne. And just at the moment that Sydney United probably had their best opportunities. How often do we see it that the underdog, the non-A-Leagues club, probably has close to their best passage of the game? The A-League club goes up the other end and scores.
It's often the way, that quick counter-attack.
You can see possession dominated by Western United. But the shot's fairly even. They have had a lot of possession. They have forced some saves, though, out of Daniel Nizic. Should say the best chance is probably falling to the A-League side.
And what we are starting to see as well is just some snippiness there. The foul count building up for Sydney United 58. And that's getting under the skin of Western United.
Well, we're going to take a break for half-time. We'll be back straight after this on 10 play. It's Western United leading Sydney United 58 by a goal to nil. Welcome back to Sydney United Sports Centre. Sydney United 58 behind by a goal to nil. It was Connor Payne right on the stroke of half-time with the goal after a swift counter-attack. Dylan Parias with a pinpoint cross, and that's where we sit at half-time. Ben Homer with you alongside Grace Gill. Grace, Sydney United 58, they probably showed their best period right before half-time, but can they continue to deliver that to a high standard in the second half?
Yeah, well, I think we saw some good quality from Western United in that first 45 and a bit of frustration starting to settle in towards the end of that first half. So a really good opportunity for Sydney United 58 to come out, having taken stock of that first 45 and realise that they can get under the skin of a really good outfit in Western.
So a first ever spot in the quarterfinals of the Australia Cup awaits the winner of this one. Connor Payne, the man to inflict the pain on Sydney United 58 to this point. But Chris Payne, he's been key for Sydney United 58 in the first half. He'll be the main man again in the second. So back underway, second 45 minutes here at Adenza Park. And just confirmation that we've got from halftime, Glenn Trefiro has headed out there, and it looks as though Chris Payne, who we're just touching on, he has left the park, and he had that issue with the ankle in the first half. So a big loss, but a big inclusion in Glenn Trefiro heading out there, the former Central Coast Mariner, Grace Gill.
Some good experience there, 33 years old, a lot of good football in his legs, so maybe looking to come on and settle a young side. And of course, Chris Payne, he went down with that ankle injury in the first half and did look to be in a bit of pain.
Wales' ball. No pun intended.
Yeah, sorry about that.
That's a quality that's something Daniel McBreen would pull out, a dad joke like that. So leave those to
I'll leave those ones to Danny.
Garuccio, and here's Payne. So, what a chance this is for Jordan Roberts. Kaneko is making the run into the box. Glenn Trefiro, what a chance for the former Mariner. No pressure at the top of the box. He had to put that on target.
Wouldn't have that been an opening to this second half from Sydney United 58? A beautiful run by Roberts and an even better cutback. Glenn Trefiro, he's got to do better with that shot. He's got to hit the target on that kind of opportunity.
Western United coming out in a little bit of a slumber to begin this second half. Maybe they need a bit more of the fisticuffs we saw in the first half just to get them back awake.
Look, it definitely injected a little bit of life into their legs.
Poscaliero. That's a good ball. Kaneko. One of their best in the first half, along with Chris Payne. Taisei Kaneko, former J-League or J3 League player with the Yokohama Sports and Culture Club. Also has played in Taiwan as well. Tomoki Imai. Parias just let himself be nutmegged. It just ran away from him though. But he was a constant threat in the first half, Dylan Parias. One of two changes for Western from that side that beat Victory a week and a half ago. Lacroix out for the man playing this pass to Imai and Ben Collins. And then Nick Milanovic, the Sydney United 58 junior, replaced by Parias, who's charging after the ball. Bilic got there first. And Bilic's pass wayward to Risdon. Gets away with it though.
A bit of a disappointing pass there from Bilic. He He had a great deal of joy down this left-hand side against the Monero Panthers in the round of 32, but he just hasn't been able to be utilised this afternoon. He's a rapid player, but he's done just a lot of defensive work against Western United.
Corner paint as his run attempted to be cut off by Poscalero. Parias trying to flick it on to Lockie Wales, the two former Ollie Roos teammates. They do have a good understanding between them. You could just see after that Parias having a chat, a chuckle to Wales. Certainly that was his intention, to find him. May try and do so again here. Just got a little tight on the byline.
And of course it was Lockie Wales who tucked away the winner against Victory to progress Western United to this round, and he's had a lively afternoon himself.
He broke Victory hearts for the second time in a few months after that finals win in the second leg. That will go down as one of the great semi-finals in Australian football history, that Western Victory contest. Parias, Risdon, Lockie Wales, even with his speed, he couldn't catch up with it on the synthetic pitch.
It was a lovely combination there, and I have to credit Lockie Wales there for continuing his run all the way through, but just a little much on that pass, and the weight, the texture on that ball has to be pretty spot on.
Just an aimless ball there from Matt Bilic. Basically gifting back possession to the green and black. Imai, Caruccio, just got in the eye line of Nizic, but he's had a good match today, the Sydney United 58 goalkeeper. Mayer, they've already created one chance down the right today, but Jordan Roberts couldn't rein it in.
Jordan Roberts as well has been industrious down that right-hand side, put in a couple of good deliveries to the box, and also beating his player on a couple of occasions too. Just a good amount of strength and physicality, but on that occasion was unable to control.
Parias versus Bilic, and it's Parias winning the race. Vlastelica came across. Poscaliero, he had to turn quickly. If he didn't bring that under his control, Dylan Wenzel-Halls could have had a golden chance to make it too.
There's a very, very important toe there from Poscaliero.
Was almost, it was like time stood still, wasn't it, for that split second?
So.
Picardus and Kaneko making themselves available. And it's Taisei Kaneko with the overlapping run of Matt Bilic. It's low. It's Picardus! The groans tell you how close it was.
For the second time this match, Picardus gets himself in an excellent position. The strike was a good one. It's just straight to the side of the woodwork. But another good look at goal. A great ball into the box there from Bilic. Beautiful delivery. And Sydney United, these chances gone begging are going to hurt them.
Are you prepared to say better side so far? I know it's only been 8 minutes. Better side so far in the second half. Sydney United with the chances.
I don't know if I'm quite prepared for it, Ben. I think it's been pretty even share of the ball, but that was a very good chance for Sydney United 58. And they're getting very few of them. They have to capitalise on the opportunities that they do create.
Yeah, 100%. They cannot let chances like the ones that have fallen to Trefiro and Picardis be wasted any longer. Mayer, again, this is good link up. 1-2 play with Roberts, but it's beaten him over the sideline.
This is much better free-flowing play, though, from Sydney United. Connecting passes in their attacking half of the field, whereas a lot of what we saw in that first 45 was just having to defend and absorb a whole heap of pressure, but things are starting to open up a little bit. Bit of space between the lines and some good connecting passes.
Just saw Miro Vlastelica. Coached half of their 2018 season, that 2019 campaign where they made the grand final, and then took over from Joe Haywood in May after he stepped down following 4 heavy defeats in the NPL New South Wales. As we touched on before, they've missed the finals in the NPL New South Wales, those semi-finals actually being played this weekend, first week.
This becomes a very different game if Sydney United put away one of these chances to square things away.
Bozanovsky allowed space to roam. Tomolik took it off his toe. And that's the big question, isn't it? Can Sydney United get an equaliser before Western United get a chance to make it 2-0? And you feel like they will create a number more chances, the visitors. Meyer, Picardis, he's had 2 chances from range. Again, this is good build-up from Sydney United. Meyer, and Young gets a hand to it. It deceives the Western United goalkeeper. And it's Tarek Meyer again for Sydney United 58 in the Australia Cup.
Well, this was much better build-up play here by Sydney United 58. And what a strike. It's wrong-footed Jamie Young. He's taken a step to his right and he's not been able to recover that. But there's that goal. There's that equaliser we've been talking about for Sydney United 58, and they're back in this game.
Well, he had his best season last year. Jamie Young, he's had a moment to forget there. Tarek Meyer is going to leave the field to a standing ovation. He scored for Sydney United against St George in that 2019 Australia Cup match in extra time. It was a huge goal for them. And you just wonder whether he deserves some more time, because he would have had the energy coursing through his veins after scoring the equaliser.
Yeah, interesting time substitution. You do think it must have been a pre-planned one before the goal had gone in, but certainly the momentum and the confidence that comes after tucking away a goal like that.
Well, they deserve it for all of their endeavour at the start of this second half, and don't we have a cracker on our hands here, Grace?
Cementi, who's come on energetically.
Oh, that's brilliant from Cementi. And the energy just comes out of that attack. This is where Western can be so clinical. Bilic, important foot in. Trefiro.
This is better play through the midfield by Sydney United 58. Starting to connect, combine really well in the middle of the park, and they lacked a bit of that in the first 45 minutes, but this is just starting to pull apart Western United a bit, and Jono Aloisi's side has definitely got some questions to answer here.
And now Kaneko charging after it. Jamie Young putting that issue a moment ago behind him. Carius. Well, if they weren't up and about before, at the back end of that first half where things were heating up, these home fans at Sydney United Sports Centre, they are full of voice now.
That has definitely breathed life into the Sydney United 58 supporters.
Attempted trickery from Connor Payne. Just over half an hour remaining. Of course, if scores remain as they are, we're getting another half hour. Maybe you'll have to set up the split screen. Don't forget, Peninsula Power, Green Gully, straight after this one on 10 play. And if you're keen to watch the Socceroos in their final match at home before they head to Qatar for the World Cup, the likes of Josh Risdon, Ben Garuccio, Lockie Wales amongst that from the Western United squad, hoping to find their way into the Socceroos World Cup squad. It's 100 days until that World Cup kicks off in Qatar in November. So September 22, that Socceroos versus New Zealand clash. Get your tickets. Kaneko behind Cementi was able to rein it in. Links with Roberts. It was always rising.
Well, that's another good look there from Sydney United 58, and certainly the momentum is in their favour. Roberts again, though, a couple of shots by United 58. They've got to get these on target. Just test Jamie Young at very least. Force a save out of him. But Western United pleased to see that one by Roberts sail over the crossbar.
What's changed for you in this second half, the last 15 minutes?
Yeah, look, I think whether it's a bit of fatigue, I can't suggest that it would be from Western United, but definitely the lines are starting to open up a bit. Sydney United, as I mentioned, are connecting really well through the midfield in the way that they weren't in the first 45 minutes, and they're seeing a lot of joy with some of those combinations.
It was all just getting a bit tight there for Western. Garuccio offered some space to the left. Connor Payne, the goal scorer in the first half for Western. Bozanovsky. Payne, important touch because he's going to earn his side of corner. So, can they find something from the set piece? John Aloisi and Hayden Fox barking out some instructions. You just wonder whether they'll go to the bench. Maybe it's the ex-Sydney United boy, Nick Milanovic, who could be the man off the bench. It's Lockie Wales with the set piece duty here. And Josh Risdon never got himself set.
Really good timing there, though, by Josh Risdon. He does so well to get himself on the end of those deliveries. Can't quite get over the top of that one to make something of it or to force a save from Nizic, but you can see as well here, Western United setting with a really high line. A lot of numbers high up on the pitch, looking to put pressure on and try and shift this momentum back around in their favour.
Imai just bounced up. Jamie Young has to be good technically and was good enough to get the clearance away, but only as far as Fragigiannis. Glenn Trefiro again finding Roberts. Gee, he has been so dynamic down that right edge, Jordan Roberts. He was the inclusion, of course, for Patrick Antelmi. Bit of a reshuffle in the formation for Sydney United 58, but he has been so energetic down the right flank.
Yeah, he's asking a lot of work from Garuccio as well, tracking a lot of ground. I think as well, Ben, to come back to your point, what's been the change? I think Glenn Trefiro has made a massive impact. His inclusion in the second half, he's looking for the ball, getting really important touches, and of course he had that early opportunity, perhaps should have done better with, but I think that kind of start just injected a great deal of energy into this Sydney United 58 side, and they've looked really good since.
Just glides into space, doesn't he? Glenn Trefiro finds the right passes. And his side back level at 1 apiece after they were behind 1-0 just before the halftime break. Wenzel Halls gets clipped by Vlastelica. Garuccio and Wales.
See there, Sydney United leading the foul count. 8 to Western United's 4. You can say this second half hasn't been quite as venomous. We haven't seen those kind of challenges, that frustration seeping into the game yet, Ben.
Well, Chris Payne was at the heart of a lot of it, so he's been taken off with that injury at half-time. And yeah, the venom from that respect has sort of seeped out of the match. Vlastelica looking up. That's another lovely ball, and it's Roberts with his chalk on his boots. He's getting so much width and so much joy down that right flank.
I've got to say though, that ball from Vlastelica, that was delightful. That has just cleared the head of Garuccio there, and Roberts, if not for that little slip, was in a great position to receive that. What a lovely ball.
Payne taking on Tomalic. And there he is, Anthony Tomalic. Just picking up the scraps in midfield. One of 2 of these Sydney United 58 players who have been a part of every one of their cup run in the final rounds. Matt Bilic, the other one. But never have they made it beyond the round of 16. Never have they beaten an A-League's club. Wales, cute pass to Risdon. Fatigue maybe just setting in. Only came back to pre-season training last month. They knocked over Melbourne Victory, who had played Manchester United in their pre-season. And now against Sydney United 58, the champions of Australia are just finding things a little difficult.
Fair to say this second half has been a little less comfortable for Western United, and definitely starting to feel the pinch. And I'm sure that for John Eloise's side, they'll want to get this done in regulation time. They'll want to avoid another 30 minutes in the legs on a synthetic pitch.
Poscaliero, Trefiro around the corner. Fragigiannis, and it's the clearance from Risdon. Wenzel Hall's got himself about. Poscaliero out of position. This is a great chance for Western United. Connor Payne has speed, has Wenzel Halls as well, and a brilliant tackle from the captain. A captain's challenge from Adrian Vlastelica, and his dad, who's the coach today, will be very proud of that.
Well, that was a clutch interference there from Vlastelica, and Connor Payne is slow to get up after that one, but he needed to intervene on that occasion. He needed to make contact, and it was a clean challenge, a professional tackle there. Excellent, excellent tackle by Vlastelica.
Played his juniors at Hurstville Zagreb, one of the teams at Sydney United 58 knocked out on their way through to this round of 16 meeting with Western United.
He is hurting after that challenge, though. Is a little bit ginger, a little bit slow to stand. Just seeking some reinforcement there from Tomilic, another body, but he's looking sore after that challenge, as great as it was.
Jamie Young has to get the ball out quickly. And Lustica. Risdon. Garuccio, just a little bit of an errant touch there. Bozanovsky still going like an Energizer Bunny in the 70th minute. Gives away a free kick there. The 18-year-old came up through the ranks at Sunshine George Cross before linking with Melbourne City, and now Western United getting another start. Reece Bozanovsky in midfield, but intriguingly, no changes yet.
Bozanovsky has had a really good shift this afternoon. Youngest player on the field, but is definitely playing years above his age, 18 years old. Playing with a wealth of maturity out there.
Glenn Trefiro at the screen from Garuccio. Vlastelica. Hasn't he been a wall at the back for Sydney United 58? Trefiro. He is getting on a bit, 33. And that pass just asked a little too much of his legs. I was thinking of players that have been older than him, the likes of Daniel McBreen. I was just notified about a tweet that he posted about me, Grace, about City to Surf or something. He forgot to mention that he was probably about half an hour behind me in the run today. So
a solid 30 minutes. What did you finish in, Ben?
About an hour. Let's say just a second over an hour.
To be precise. It's not a bad run there, Ben. Not a bad run at all. Well done.
If you want to see his tweet, you can check it out on Twitter. I wouldn't recommend it, though. Lockie Wales up against Tomilic. Bilic. As I said, him and Tomilic, the two that have been part of every cup run post-round of 32 for Sydney United 58 since 2014. They've been the most successful non-A-Leagues club in terms of getting through to the round of 32. Lockie Wales. And here's Risdon. It is a tough angle. Josh Risdon. And again, Daniel Nizic. He has produced a standout performance between the sticks for Sydney United 58.
That is another excellent save there by Nizic. Had to drop down to his left fast. The near post there, just a small angle, but for a big body, he gets to ground really quickly, and that's another vital save for Sydney United.
Well, that's why he played in the UK. It's why he got an opportunity to play in the A-League, albeit briefly, with Western Sydney. Massive moment there. Big defensive moment here for Sydney United 58. Wales, Garuccio, and Bozanovsky beats a couple, and then Connor Payne almost got himself in the way there of his teammate. Then Collins thought about shooting. Free kick for Western United. It's Connor Payne who hit the deck.
Stephen Lucas looked to play advantage there and thought about it for a good pause. Connor Payne went down hard, and this is a very dangerous area for a free kick right on top of the 18-yard box. Is well within range, and Daniel Nizic looking to set up his wall and get a lot of bodies in there nice and early. This is a great chance for Western United.
So Lustica and Garuccio with Lockie Wales there as well. He's going to walk away. And it will be Steve Lustica or Garuccio to test out Nizic. What a massive moment in this cup clash. Garuccio hit the side netting. The moment was there for Western United's player of the season in their championship winning campaign, but he couldn't bend it back enough.
Well, it had Daniel Nizic beaten, had it just tucked inside that near post there, and he did show a lot of his goal on that side. A good look there for Western United, but ultimately you want to be hitting the target. You want to be at very least forcing a save from the goalkeeper.
Final 15 minutes of this round of 16 Australia Cup match. It hasn't happened this season of the Australia Cup, the 8th edition, where we have seen a non-A-Leagues team knock out A-Leagues opposition. They haven't even pushed it into extra time. Well, Sydney United 58, they're 15 minutes away, but that is an eternity when you're taking on a side that trains full time.
Suddenly some of these chances from Western United, the ones that hit the woodwork, suddenly feel a long way away, and equally so for Sydney United. Picardus had a chance, Trafiro as well. It hasn't been a match without opportunities, and 15 minutes, plenty of football to play here, and still both sides looking sprightly on the ball.
Piraeus. So it's the professional side up against a team with project managers, physios, football coaches. The list goes on and on. That is what we're seeing, and it is dead level at the moment.
Ben, that's the magic of the cup, is it not?
That it is. Tarek Amaya's goal is the difference at this point in the second half, as Piraeus does score, but the flag's up. Came up fairly early from the assistant in this near side of the ground. So Botic. And we're also seeing Milanovic about to come out. So Western United, they led it 1-0 at halftime. Connor Payne's goal, the difference in that first half. And then Tarek Mayer with the equaliser. And you can see Nick Milanovic, who spoke this week about coming back to playing Sydney United 58, which is where he began playing his youth football before he went to Western Sydney Wanderers and then moved to Melbourne with St Albans and ended up at Western United. And then Noah Botic, who came through a 2-year scholarship deal with Hoffenheim. He trialled with Manchester United as well while he was in Europe. But he came back to Australia after the difficulties of staying in Europe associated with the pandemic and not being able to come back home to see his family. He's back in the country now. He's with Western United last year. Not many opportunities, just the 4 matches in the A-League men's. Could he be the hero in the cup? Or could it be the ex-Sydney United boy? Garuccio. Lustica. Risdon, and here is Wales. Milanovic making himself available in the box. And Kaneko threw his body about and earns the whistle from Stephen Lucas.
Yeah, look, that's defended pretty well there by Sydney United. Just had to hold their shape and absorb a bit of pressure. Kaneko this afternoon playing a little higher than what he did against the Monero Panthers. Against the Panthers, he was in the middle of the field, really pulling the strings, but just looking to try and pull out the shape of Western United and draw them out wide there. He's not got on the ball quite as much. Tidy midfielder, though.
Well, Roberts, he's won a throw there. He's just cannoned that pass straight at Connor Payne, deflected off him. It's almost like trying to search for a foot in hockey. Jordan Roberts just smashing it at Payne and earning the throw. Fragigiannis, Roberts. So playing a little more centrally in that passage. Jordan Roberts, Cementi, Kaneko. Taisei Kaneko. Virtually a new player, this Japanese import. He's played in the J3 League in Japan. And Grace, you said moments ago, he hasn't got this kind of space in the second half.
Lovely little touch, drop of the shoulder, just to open up the space for himself. He's got a nice piece of that strike there, but again, just hasn't been able to get it on target. But the build-up play for me there was just a delight. That ball from Fragigiannis, the touch from Roberts was just lovely.
As you were saying, probably the first real opening we've seen for him in the second 45, because in the first he probably found himself in more space. There's the captain, Adrian Vlastelica. Risdon sent Kaneko for a bit of a slide, and now a set piece on the way for Western. Now we're going to take it quickly, but decide against it, and it's Garuccio who's going to trot across from the other side. And the corner into the arms of Nizic, but he spilled it. He was scrambling after it. And the referee saying he got the ball. It was almost like one of those bad dreams for a goalkeeper as the ball was just rolling away from him.
Yeah, look, an uncharacteristic drop, you'd have to say, there from Nizic. He came out assertively to collect. Has just parried that one down into traffic, and as you say, Ben just scurrying to get a hold of that.
Good touch from Ben Collins. Play allowed to go on. They are hunting possession here, Western United, but it's Roberts going the other way. Has Trefiro arriving. He's just going to settle things down here, Glenn Trefiro. Cementi, heavy touch from Kyle. And then gives away the free kick. Has scored 6 goals in the NPL this season. Kyle Cementi, 1 in the Cup, of course, scored against Monero in that round of 32.
It was that goal from Cementi that well and truly put the nail in the coffin against the Monero Panthers late in the match to see them win out the game 3-0.
And that's to go with the couple he scored in the preliminary rounds of the Cup as well. And he's their highest scoring option on the field, because most goals this season, Chris Payne with 15 and Telmy 13, both not out there. So does that just show you how impressive this performance has been? Cementi wins possession for Sydney United 58. Trefiro put under pressure by Bozanovsky.
Yeah, really well done there by Cementi, and I think it does, Ben. I think it speaks to the quality we're seeing from Sydney United this afternoon, and it gives an opportunity for some of these other guys to step up and to take that, and well and truly, they've done that with class.
Yeah, Jordan Roberts has been a real standout, hasn't he, down the right. His backstory, played for Sutherland Sharks. That was his junior club, and then time at Fraser Park, and then Sydney United. Or came up through the ranks, I should say, at Sutherland. So an unheralded player. 4 goals for the season, 2 in the Cup, 2 in the NPL. But it's the damage he's doing down the right. Risdon on Western United's right-hand flank. Gets his side a throw. Time ticking away. Is there a late winner for either side? Well, we said Mark Bosnich is in the house. I just looked to my left, Dwight York's in the house as well, the MacArthur boss.
Spotted that one a moment ago, Ben. Just keeping quiet over here.
Well, they've had a pretty good run in the Cup as well. A couple of confident wins against NPL 2 opposition in South Australia, or the second division, the South Australian State League, knocking out Modbury, and also the Magpies Crusaders from the far north Queensland. Through to the last 8. Good start to his coaching career with the Bulls. And it's floated over the top for the run once again of Connor Payne, the goal scorer for Western United. And he has it picked off him by Jacob Poscaliero. And those two would have played together, spent some time during their A-Leagues careers at the Mariners. He wins it back and now sends Bilic off down the left. The veteran Matt Bilic. But Cementi's going to make something happen here. Into the arms of Jamie Young in the end. Never gives up on the ball, Kyle Cementi, does he? Always there creating half chances with that burst of speed.
His first couple of steps, his acceleration is just really incredible. And for me, though, that switch play again from Trefiro to find a bit of space out here on the left for Sydney United, just to relieve that pressure, and that's when Sydney United are looking really dangerous, catching Western a little unawares.
Frustration just building for Western. Nizic has denied them on a number of occasions. And here's an interesting one. Jalil Ragagu, the 21-year-old, the captain of the NPL 3 team for Western United. He is going to make his first team debut for the club. Slotting into the back line. So what an opportunity for him. Maybe he might get half an hour in his belt if this one heads into extra time. And that's Ragagu. Well, he's going to shield this back to Jamie Young. Good first involvement from him. Gets some confidence.
It's a big call there. You wonder if Ben Collins had a niggle or a bit of fatigue. It's not often you see your centre-half subbed off for a young and, as you say, very inexperienced player to come on in. Ragagu and Collins, I thought, had been really sound for Western this evening.
He travels each morning from Ballarat to training. So a fair hike, and he's actually studying as well at Uni Bachelor of Design, Visual Communication. So has things going for him on both fronts, on and off the pitch. Jalil Ragagu. Wales, fed by Risdon, clipping it up. And Trefiro with the chip and chase. Lustica read it well. Well, that's an awkward one. Fell for Botic. And then Payne. Picked off him again by the strength of Tomalic. He's just so strong in the midfield. But now, caught out of position. Milanovic, the ex-Sydney United 58 boy, booed by his home fans, or his former home fans.
And doesn't the crowd let him know about that one? To be fair, he probably did have to do better with that shot. He found himself in really good space. He's just shanked that to the side. Hasn't quite got the purchase on the top of his laces that he was looking for there. And the Sydney United faithful made sure that Milanovic knew about that one.
Well, they didn't let him forget it at all. Scored the 1 goal in the A-League men's last season against MacArthur. Just the 1 appearance starting in the A-League men's. Did start last week against Victory, but off the bench today. So certainly looking to build on that this season. Lustica out-muscled by Trefiro. Roberts always there on the right. Can he deliver again? Well, it was the 21-year-old Regagu. Gee, he has jumped right into a pressure cooker here. Botic on the break to Lockie Wales, but the pass from the substitute not finding its mark.
A disappointing outlet there from Botic. He knew it too. A bit of yelling frustration after that one. Didn't find Lockie Wales' feet.
So the champions of Australia, they won the grand final a couple of months back against Melbourne City. Under pressure here. The flag comes up against Botic.
Botic just drifting into an offside position. Bit of frustration, and as we see here, Ben, 3 minutes of extra time.
Well, strap yourselves in. We could be heading into extra time for the first time in this edition of the Australia Cup in a match between A-League's opposition and a non-A-League side, a member association club. And this is going to bring a corner. Late sloppiness from Western United swings the door open for Sydney United 58 to win it. And it's a short corner. Trefiro trying to catch them unawares. Links with Roberts. And the flag comes up against Glenn Trefiro. And if it didn't, what a chance there may have been presented to Kaneko.
Yeah, frustrating one there for Sydney United fans. Roberts just drifting into an offside position from that short corner there.
Less than 90 seconds of stoppage time. Western United, they are desperate to find a winner and head home. Remembering there's a quarterfinal spot up for grabs for the first time for the winner of this match. Poscaliero stooped low against his former teammate Payne.
That's really, really well defended by Poscaliero there. Brave defending, getting his head down to that challenge.
Lockie Wales charging. Nizic was doing likewise out of his 6-yard box. And now a chance to break for Sydney United 58. Can they find the winner here? They'll probably have the final attack of this match if they can make it happen. Maybe they're happy to go into extra time at the moment. Chewing some more seconds off the clock. I think maybe they are. Poscaliero looking long for the bright yellow boots of Roberts. He's done enough to earn a throw with his pressure on Garuccio. We are going into an extra 30 minutes at Adenza Park. Connor Payne's first half strike for Western United cancelled out by Tarek Myers' second half goal. It means at full time, Sydney United 58 won, Western United 1. Grayskill, what a match this has been. A team who lost the cup final last week. They were embarrassed, losing to NWS Spirit, who sit in the second division in Sydney. They missed the finals in the NPL New South Wales, but this is what the cup throws up.
Well, this is an excellent performance from Sydney United, particularly the second half. The second 45 minutes has been an immense effort. And just the commitment and the desire from Sydney United has really shone through this second 45. Western United have dropped their heads and they were unable to capitalise when they should have in that first 45. They had ample opportunity, but it has been Sydney United with the better of the opportunities in this second half.
Well, this is the extra time record for Sydney United 58 in the cup. They beat St George 5-3 in 2019, and in 2016 they lost 6-2 to Blacktown City. That was that game where Danny Choi scored that worldie from way inside his own half. So it took a pretty special goal to turn that match on its head. So they're 1-1 when it goes into extra time. And for Western United, they have never been into extra time in the Australia Cup. Of course, they went there in the final series in the A-League Men's. And they knocked out Melbourne Victory. I should say they haven't been to extra time. That one didn't go into extra time, deep into that second leg. So, yeah, uncharted waters for Western United. And we'll see how they respond. Final 30 minutes on the way. It's all getting a little bit frantic, Grace. These kind of matches, you're going 90 minutes late on in the day. Fatigue sets in, both of the players and for us up here as well. So
well, you've run 14 Ks today, Ben. I don't blame you. But this is excellent for Sydney United. You can feel there's this real nervous energy in the crowd. Everyone's on their feet. They've got their home crowd support. And certainly Western United wouldn't have envisaged this result at the end of the 90 minutes. So really this plays into the hands, into the favour of Sydney United. And we're buckling in for another 30 minutes of football. You mentioned the synthetic pitch as well. It has cooled down here at Sydney United Sports Centre. A cool breeze in the air, so the heat's gone out of the day. But things are heating up on the field. Another 30 minutes of football to be played here in the Australia Cup.
Well, we asked that question pre-match. Could they do it on a brisk Sydney afternoon after getting the job done on a cool night in Melbourne? Well, so far, they haven't been able to. Western United. Sydney United 58, holding them at full time. We're just getting confirmation that there's a change on the way for Western United. So Adisu Bayu has replaced Connor Payne, who scored that first half goal to put them ahead right on the stroke of half time. You can see Bayu, who's come through the academy at Western United, was actually the first ever academy product to score for the club. And born in Sudan to Ethiopian parents, moved to Melbourne when he was 4 and then played for Green Gully and then moved to Western United where he came up through that academy. He'll add some energy up front on that left-hand side. Here we go, Grace. 30 minutes. And if they aren't able to be split, penalties. They've never gone through a penalty shootout, Western United. Sydney United have gone through more than you can count. So looking for the first cup set in the 8th edition of the Australia Cup. Sydney United. How is the fatigue going to hit them? The team of physios, project managers, football coaches, electricians, etc., etc. That is what's going up against a professional football side, Grace Gill. The benefit is it is a Sunday, so a lot of these guys would have had the day off just to rest the legs. It's not like it's a midweek match.
It's not a work day today.
Maybe that's the reason.
Perhaps backing up tomorrow, though, for work. Maybe a big ask after such a huge match. But you mentioned there, Bayu coming on the thing about this Western United bench, such a youthful bench. And in terms of the ages of these players coming on 20, 21, just the quality of these younger guys coming up, and what an opportunity, extra time of an Australia Cup match to try and clinch a result for Western United. That's huge.
And if you can double screen, do it, because we've got a big one between Peninsula Power and Green Gully live at the moment from Queensland. An all NPL clash. Peninsula Power heavyweights in Queensland, Green Gully likewise in Victoria. Fragigiannis, Poscaliero. Milanovic, Lustica, Bayou. Milanovic earns a corner. Is this the passage where they can strike? Western United just after the resumption. Sometimes there could just be a little bit of a lull in intensity in these kind of moments. And the corner is delivered towards the head of Regagu, Risdon, and Lustica feeding his captain. Risdon floating it to the back post, and it's not the purchase on the header from Milanovic.
Mizic had that one really well covered. Starting to have the sun in his eyes from this position here, but positioning was good, and a little header nodded down. Didn't cause any troubles there for Nizic.
But the bend on that from Poscaliero out to Fragigiannis. Roberts. It was good football down the right, but the pass won back by Imai. Botic to Wales. So great opportunity for Noah Botic as well. Gets a good period of football. He's come off the bench, so he's fresh. Former Hoffenheim scholarship player. Trialled with Manchester United as well. Wales just opened up for him into the back of Vlastelica. And Picardis got himself across to thwart the attack.
Wales has been really energetic this match though. A neat little drop of the shoulder just to create some space for himself and get that shot away. He's still looking lively with the ball at his feet. Certainly not the kind of player that Sydney United can switch off to.
Garuccio speeds onto the ball, harassed by Roberts. Tell you what, he didn't need to do the City to Surf this morning. He's probably got his 14 Ks up this afternoon. He'll be close by full time if he stays out there.
He's covered a great expanse of turf out here this afternoon, Roberts, and had invariably good speeds as well.
Lockie Wales, frustrated look across. And he's tired as well. He was involved in a bit of push and shove in that first half. But as we said, basically that was extinguished at half-time, that real aggression. With Chris Payne departing the scene. Wouldn't he love to be out there at the moment? He'll be so disappointed that injury forced him off their leading scorer across all competitions. If you missed it, injured that ankle in the first half. Pat Antelmi not playing today. He spent some time at Western United. He is out with a hamstring problem. So that's the quality lacking today for Sydney United. They just have another concern here.
This is not a good sign here for Sydney United. that fatigue that sets into 90 plus minutes of football, a little clutch at the hammy.
What it will do is just help his teammates just have a little bit of a breather. The kids enjoying the sunshine at Adenza Park. Sydney United 58 looking for a win against A-League's opposition for the first time in club history. It's certainly something for this club that is long overdue, Grace. We touched on Adelaide City, Brisbane Strikers, the likes of those clubs, the famous NSL clubs getting wins in the Australia Cup against A-League sides. Apia Leica, they've done it twice now. Sydney United haven't. They've had opportunities, but yet to do so. So Yanni Pekatis over the sideline, stretching out that groin. Noah Botic and Garuccio got there first ahead of Roberts. Bozanovsky, and he's running back out there with a limp, is Pekatis. We'll see if he continues. They've still got some options on the bench. Used up Cementi and also Trefiro.
Real question of how many minutes Pekatis has left in him. Looks like it's that right hamstring or causing him a bit of grief, and he doesn't look too comfortable as he steps away on it.
Roberts, Trefiro, that's right up into the breadbasket of Regagu. If you're wondering, Regagu, I haven't heard that name. That's Jalil Regagu. He's the captain of the Western United NPL side, getting an opportunity, the 21-year-old, with Ben Collins departing just before full time. Another issue for Pekatis. Surely he's got to go off, clutching at the hamstring. Lockie Wales, the flag's up against him, which is quite fortuitous because Sydney United had basically stopped with Pekatis' issue, and you can see Andrea Agamemnonos, the ex-Sydney youth player, that's Sydney FC and Western Sydney Wanderers. He was part of the NYL team that lost that grand final in 2019 for Western Sydney. He's about to come on and replace the former Wanderer, Pekatis.
Yeah, disappointing there for Pekatis. He's had a pretty solid afternoon and tried to play on, but you can see in that last passage of play, just another clutch at the hammy and might have tweaked something.
So another further test of the depth of Sydney United.
I'm sure both managers at this point in the game, you have to have one eye on a penalty shootout, thinking about who your kickers potentially could be, and with a lot of experience having gone off the field for Western United, be an interesting lineup if we do find ourselves at a penalty shootout, Ben.
And whether either coach wants to bring on a goalkeeper late on, who knows? I don't think that will happen. Sydney United's backup keeper is the 17-year-old James Husoy, but who knows? Stranger things have happened. Ryan Scott, the backup for Western United. Jamie Young will be keen to redeem himself after the issue that led to the equaliser for Sydney United 58. If it gets that far. Wales off Kaneko. So to this point, it's almost been sort of that typical first period of extra time where there's a lot of fatigue in the legs, not too many clear-cut opportunities. Could it start to open up in the next 20 minutes? Here's a chance for Bayou. Left the pass short on Wales. It's funny in this passage, Grace, you've got quite tired players and then you've got fresh players still trying to find their feet out there.
Yeah, it's a tricky one. The fresh players looking for the through balls and the fatigue players begging for the ball to be played to their feet. When you've made those runs all day for 90 plus minutes. You need to change the way that you approach the goal, connect in tidy combinations, just really tight triangles and play around your players. But those through balls, they ask a lot of players who have been out here on a synthetic pitch for 90 plus minutes.
Risdon trying to squeeze it down the line towards Wales. Right in front of the Sydney United 58 faithful. Love the sign. Not a phase, not a trend. Sydney United till the end. These fans are loyal. A club that has been around since, of course, it's mentioned in the name, 1958. Garuccio. And Wales found himself in space. So too did the Sydney United 58 youth player in Milanovic, but a heavy touch at the key moment.
There's a good early ball over the top from Western United. Fastalica looked a little isolated there. They didn't quite have their shape at the back, Sydney United, and fortunately for the Sydney United faithful, a heavy touch saw that ball out, and Nizic will restart with the goal kick.
So it was a side that started with 6 members of their squad that had played in the A-League men's competition. They've lost Chris Payne. They've got Glenn Trefiro out there. Curtis as well, forced to depart. So you look at the men that are also out injured, Antelmi and Klute, Devante Klute in the stands but not playing. Garuccio with the flick on. Earns a throw for the opposition. So here is Christian Gonzalez. He's had some injury issues this season, so limited minutes in the NPL, just 6 appearances, 4 starts for the man who played youth football with Sydney FC before he signed with Sydney United 58. Part of that Sydney United team that won the grand final on penalties back in 2020 against Rockdale. Regagu fired that pass in the vicinity of Lockie Wales, and Gonzalez is going to just rest his legs for the moment. The substitute, as that ball beats him over the sideline.
Yes, Benny, higher, higher. Stay still, yes, stay still. Good, good. Benny! Benny! Higher, Jamil, higher.
Captain Risdon beats Kaneko, and Gonzalez. Lustica blocked. Bodies on the line once again from Sydney United, and Kyle Chimenti is off.
Well, that opened up there for Western United.
Yeah, this room behind.
It was a good bit of play down the right-hand side, and
again, Lockie Wales, he's through. He's got Bodic in the middle, but Vlastelica, he has given everything. He lies on the turf. A momentary break, just stretches out the cramp, the captain. He had to get there. They've got to defend this. Wales, it's hit to Bayou. It's Nizic again. The hand of Nizic saves the day for Sydney United 58. This is one of the great goalkeeping performances in the Australia Cup. Not just one save, not just 2, but multiple. Bozanovski Risdon, the home fans want the whistle. They want their side an opportunity to regroup. Milanovic will earn a corner. Will Stephen Lucas allow it to be taken? No, it's going to be a goal kick. Western United cannot believe it. And we are at half-time in extra time. Well, it was a slow burn, that first 15 minutes of extra time. The chance comes right at the end, but it finishes half-time in extra time. Sydney United 58-1, Western United 1. Grace Gill try and sum that up.
Well, first of all, Daniel Nizic, take a bow. What an incredible goalkeeping performance we've seen this game from the Sydney United 58 goalkeeper. He has kept his side in this contest, and for anything, Bayu thought he was in there. He had a free header at the far post, so it wasn't without opportunity that Western United were able to go ahead there. But once again, Nizic has stood tall and stood up for United 58.
Well, if it goes into a penalty shootout, he will be absolutely pumped. And I tell you what, Mark Bosnich is in the box to the left of us. He'll be absolutely loving this from Daniel Nizic.
Look, I'm surprised we haven't picked up Boz through the mic effects here. Things are getting heated, things are picking up. Again, the nervous energy around the stadium is really starting to build.
Well, hope you're enjoying this one on 10 Play. We've got a crowd of over 1,300, 1,358 in the house for this Classic Cup match. And it's heading into its final 15 minutes now. So Sydney United 58 get us underway, chasing a spot in the quarterfinals for the first time ever. How is the fatigue in the legs now? Western United maybe looking to finish with a flurry. Garuccio again blocked. Bodies on the line every time from 58.
So last-ditch defending, just getting something, a limb, a bit of your body in the way of that strike.
Lustica with Bayu. Spills through, but Poscaliero mopping up. That centre-back combination has been rock solid for most of this match. Vlastelica and Poscaliero, but these are the championship minutes.
Yeah, come this side. Yes, Noah. Stand still, Noah.
Botic, Wales, and they're going to have to get back here in numbers. The strike from Bozanovsky straight at Nizic. Agamemnonos was agonisingly close to getting a touch. He just couldn't. His heart would have been in his mouth.
There's a lovely ball swept in there by Lockie Wales. Beautiful shape on it. And once more, Sydney United defensive centre halves do so well to intervene with that. Just get a touch on both players. Looking limp at the back there. Starting to look fatigued more than ever before, and understandably so, just given the pressure that they've been under, the tackles that they've needed to make time and time again.
And again.
Well, we've seen it done a couple of times before. The champions of Australia knocked out by an NPL club. Adelaide United back in 2016 by Redlands, and then victory by Apia back in 2018. So that's the kind of history that Sydney United 58 are chasing, but they're doing it a lot without possession at the moment. How does that weigh on the legs? Oh, Milanovic. He's come close again against his boyhood club, where he learnt to play football from 7 years of age.
That was a much better strike there from Milanovic. Lovely turn, and just a little half step to get that shot away. He's done very well there. Just given the time that Nizic is taking to set up, I think he's banking on a penalty shootout here, Ben.
Well, just in that moment, you could just see a number of the kids filing down behind the goals to our right here at Adenza Park. We're still a while away from a potential penalty shootout, but some of the patrons here want to get themselves in position. This could be a problem for Sydney United. It's Gonzalez, the substitute, who's come flying through on Wales. It's just a yellow card. We haven't seen too many yellow cards. Picardas and Imai with one each in the first half, and now Gonzalez into the book.
Gonzalez just making himself well and truly known there in that challenge on Lockie Wales, and Wales back to his feet, promising to seed, but just looking a little ginger after that challenge.
Are you the same line as a Thistle?
Bozanovsky, Wales, what a ball! Just too heavy for Bayou. It looked to be almost perfect on the volley from Lockie Wales.
Well, that was an exquisite play there from Western United. The ball over the top and the deft touch from Lockie Wales just to cushion that across the face of the goal. There's an opportunity gone begging for Western United, and love to have that one again, I'm sure.
Well, in that moment, who do you put it on? Do you put it on the attackers to be ready for that kind of delivery from Lockie Wales?
Look, I think you do. I think it's just throwing any amount of body at that, just getting a limb to it, a toe to it. But that one just teasingly across the face of the goal.
Well, two of the Western Sydney boys, Botic and Milanovic, playing key roles for Western United late on here.
Hit the box.
Shimmy and a step left and right. Wales, Risdon, Vlastelica collected by the Western United skipper. I'll be happy to take some more time off the clock. Nizic is going to engage in some conversation with Stephen Lucas.
Nizic coming into bat there for his captain Vlastelica on that challenge. Risdon collected him a little late, just a clip of the shoulder.
He's done a fantastic job today, Josh Risdon, but so too is the referee, Stephen Lucas. He's been outstanding because this match has boiled. There's been moments where there's been a bit of push and shove. He's been able to douse any kind of problems. And it's been a cracking match of Australia Cup football. And now Roberts. Well, he's been the man of the hour, and now he's cramping. And I tell you what, he should be cramping with the amount of running he's done today.
That's worth a look there from Roberts as well. Just saw Jamie Young just to step off his line, and not even. It would have been a special one to duck underneath the crossbar there, but Roberts has been immense today.
Well, when you're looking at someone that could be the player of the match, he's right in the conversation with the likes of this man in possession. He just keeps going and going, Lockie Wales, but Kaneko, like a thief in the night, takes it off his toe and then wins a free kick.
That was beautifully defended there by Kaneko. Lockie Wales, he's just been so sprightly down this side of the park this evening, but Kaneko, that was just perfect defending, used his body, got himself across the shape of Lockie Wales really well.
Well, they're loving this. Free kick over on the left again. Swing it out to the right, but Western are across to make life a little difficult for Sydney United 58. Trefiro Couldn't win it off the pass of Roberts. Well, talking Roberts, Wales, Nizic, he is certainly the front runner in that race at the moment, but he's going to have to keep Western United at bay. Kaneko again under pressure. Bayou, and the chest and the touch falls fortuitously for Glenn Trefiro and not a player in green and black.
There's another energetic run there from Risdon. It's just tireless out there for Western.
Gonzalez heading it down. Garuccio and Bayou just got in each other's way, but Bayou's able to calmly find Regagu. Risdon, a little stumble. Milanovic takes on Agamemnonos, and it's Milanovic's ball. Gee, they are living dangerously at the moment. Sydney United 58. And Kaneko, can they move it quickly? It's Roberts. How much has he got in those legs? He's been out there for the entire match. The throw is going his way. That's a huge play from Jordan Roberts.
Important to relieve that pressure valve as well for Sydney United 58.
Well, he's just being offered. Is there some pickle juice? Yeah, he's just had a swig of the pickle juice. Jordan Roberts. He deserves some pickle juice.
I think he does, Ben. I think he does.
Here he is, fresh from the pickle juice. Agamemnonos, the substitute. Links with Roberts once again, who returns it to Agamemnonos! Off the post! And now Bilic back in. Garuccio's header. Trefiro. Oh! Within inches. Sydney United 58.
I tell you what, Ben, Adenza Park there almost exploded. What a strike from the substitute. A beautiful run in off the shoulder, and it was the inside of the woodwork that kept that ball out, and then Trefiro with the second shot that's just sailed over the crossbar, but my goodness, Sydney United Sports Centre almost erupted.
Tell him where's this side. Yeah, to Lockie. Yes, Lockie, to feet.
Lockie Wales ghosting into space. Botic, Bozanovsky, Gonzalez, here's Trefiro. Touch looking for Kaneko. It's tense.
Milo! Milo, you're too wide! Milo! Milo!
Agamemnonos just urged to be calm. A chance again. A whistle. A card for Risdon.
And Cementi was away. We know those first couple of steps that he possesses, that speed, acceleration. Risdon no slouch himself, but Cementi just had his number on that occasion. A well and truly technical foul there by the Western captain.
Well, Sydney United, you'd say somewhat they've been showing how keen they've been to send this one into a shootout. But now all of a sudden, they're really showing some promise in the final third for probably the first time in this period of extra time. Western United had that period of probably about 5 minutes where they kept floating in, driving in, dangerous crosses. And Sydney United hit the post. And here we are, less than 2.5 minutes of regulation time in extra time. We will have a bit of stoppage time. There's been some stoppages. And then it'll be a penalty shootout if we can't split them. It's Trefiro. Cementi was after it. Jamie Young bowling it to Risdon. Look at Cementi come after Risdon. And look, there is Kyle Cementi. He charges back from the byline to have an impact just inside his own half.
Cementi, that defensive effort by the 23-year-old. It's excellent. That's the kind of enthusiasm and energy you want from a substitute coming on, and he's really grown into this game since he has subbed on.
Yes, again. Yes, Riz.
The champions of Australia against the three-time NSL premiers. And it's Risdon. It got a little awkward for Nizic. He probably didn't have to play at it, but he knew it was going to be a corner. And he gets across, little bobble, but claims it.
Once more, Nizic, excellent goalkeeping. He's playing with such confidence. And to keep that in, prevent a corner, that's paramount here for Sydney United.
Into the final 60 of regulation. Imai. Risdon. It's not getting past. Matthew Bilic once again. Roberts is charging. Garuccio coming across. Which way? The assistant says it goes Western's way. And the terraces erupt.
Yeah, look, I'd love to have another look at that challenge. From where we are, Ben, looked like a really good shoulder to shoulder, but Roberts, wouldn't that have been the fairy tale running into space in the dying seconds of this match? Yeah, perhaps just not eyes on the ball from Roberts on that occasion.
So Kelly Jones, the fourth official, has the board up. There's 1 minute. 1 minute until potentially a penalty shootout if there's no goals in that period. But the way this match has gone, you cannot say that for sure. Regagu making his first team debut. Another whistle goes against Sydney United 58. It's again against Jordan Roberts. So the final seconds for Western United. Trefiro pinches it. It's attempted to be launched. It falls for Imai. The A-League men's champions will get one final shot. Maybe not. Maybe we are off to penalties. Penalties it is. Sydney United 58 and Western United playing out a 1-1 draw through 120 minutes. 2 hours of fabulous football in this Australia Cup round of 16 match. And now it's going to be penalties to decide who makes it through to the last 8 for the first time in club history.
Well, you've got to say that is an absolutely valiant effort in this second half and in extra time from Sydney United 58. The Australian champions, Western United, could have had this match all tied up in the first 45 minutes if not for not being clinical on those chances that they did create, and now they're faced with a penalty shootout up against a goalkeeper who has had an exceptional game in Daniel Nizic.
Well, they've played 2 penalty shootouts in the Australia Cup. Sydney United 58. Back in 2017, in the round of 16, against Heidelberg, 1-1, 4-3, they lost the shootout. And then in 2015, they drew 3-3 with South Hobart, won the shootout 3-1. Western United have never played a penalty shootout in club history. And you can see Jordan Roberts getting the calves massaged. Now, in terms of penalty takers, Glenn Trefiro, he was successful in that penalty shootout against Heidelberg. back in 2017. Chris Payne also took a penalty that particular day. He's not out there. Fragigiannis missed his penalty in that clash. So they're the only remaining members. Also, Anthony Tomalich took one successfully against South Hobart in 2015. So they're the numbers. They're the men who have produced at this level before, Grace Gillen. You look at both goalkeepers, Jamie Young, probably with not his best afternoon when he looks back at the goal that he conceded, and Daniel Nizic with one of the great cup performances by a goalkeeper.
Well, it's the experience of Jamie Young and the performance this afternoon of Daniel Nizic. Nizic has stepped up time and time again this afternoon. And then on the other hand, you've got Jamie Young, an experienced campaigner, knows how to manage these situations.
So the Sydney United 58 fans that are here today make their way behind the goal at the southern end of Adenza Park. They've suffered penalty shootout heartbreak in the round of 16 before. Sydney United 58. They know what it's like. Noah Botic the first, taking on Nizic. Remember, Botic played his youth football not far from here, Hurstville, Zagreb. He came to Western United from Europe because he wanted to learn off John Aloisi. There's no man synonymous with a spot kick in Australian football than him. And look at the composure from Botic.
Well, that is a confident and comfortable first penalty by the youngster. Nizic frustrated that he didn't read that or didn't hesitate. He's picked a side. And Botic, that is cheeky.
Tried to swing the leg at it. So as I said, Glenn Treviro successful with his penalty for Sydney United 58 in that 2017 Cup match against Heidelberg. 27 A-League men's matches for the Mariners. His 9th Cup match. So a real veteran at this level. No surprises from Trefiro.
Well, he has been immense this afternoon, both as a substitute and a penalty taker. That is a class penalty by Glenn Trefiro.
So it's Ben Garuccio. Gee, he sprinted down there. Western United's player of the season in the championship winning campaign. And he hits the woodwork. He raced down there. He wanted to get it over and done with. And Sydney United have the advantage.
It's a little stutter step there by Garuccio. He sent Nizic the wrong way, but it's the woodwork that denies him. And after a valiant performance for Western United, he'll be bitterly disappointed with that penalty.
So Yanni Fragigiannis missed in the shootout against Heidelberg in the round of 16 in 2017. Can he put the Demons behind him? Yes, he can, with the assistance of the post. And he looks a relieved man as he waves to the crowd.
Because a kiss and a wave to the Western United fans who have travelled here, but a good penalty there by Fragigiannis after a quality performance as well from him this afternoon.
Well, what about the storylines? Milanovic, where he learnt to play football. And the Sydney United 58 youth product rolls it to the other side of Daniel Nizic.
Neat, really neat penalty there by Milanovic. Nizic sent the wrong way, all 6'5" of Nizic's frame.
Well, Here he is, Jordan Roberts. The only change in the side from that cup defeat last week. He came in for Pat Antelmi. He ran everywhere, and he's denied by Jamie Young.
It was a great read there by Jamie Young. He's waited to see Roberts, which way he's going to strike it, and it's just not enough behind that. It's at a really comfortable height for a goalkeeper. An experienced save by Jamie Young.
So we're all square in the shootout. 2 apiece. Lockie Wales versus Nizic. And Wales, confident, comfortable. He lets the crowd know about it as well.
That's a penalty to match his performance, Lockie Wales. Class. Just a neat tuck away. Expect nothing less from the Western United player this afternoon, who himself has had an excellent performance.
So Kyle Cementi played the 1A League match back in 2021 for MacArthur. Came in as an injury replacement. He scored 9 goals for them this season. And he gets it through Jamie Young. Squeezes it through the goalkeeper.
It was a nervous penalty. Jamie Young, to his credit, he's picked the right way, but had enough pace on it from Cementi. He'll be pleased to see that one ripple the back of the net.
Inseparable. Sydney United 58, Western United. This is a big moment for Steve Lustica. And Nizic saves it! So Sydney United 58 with a chance to knock out the champions of Australia.
That's a comfortable save by Nizic. He's picked the right way. It was too close to his body. It's got to be a pretty special strike. Send the goalkeeper the wrong way, but on that occasion, Nizic, that's all class.
So it is Gonzalez. Christian Gonzalez, the 25-year-old, played some of his youth football at Sydney FC. A storied club with a famous victory. Sydney United 58 from the NPL New South Wales knock out the champions of Australia.
Well, congratulations, Sydney United 58. It is a valiant effort, a valiant performance this afternoon here at Adenza Park, Sydney United Sports Centre. The fans are making it known. What an occasion for this club. What an historic result for Sydney United 58.
So they become the 10th member federation team to knock out A-League's opposition. And finally, they are through to the quarterfinals of the Australia Cup at the 5th time of asking. Devastation for Western United. The Australian champions, they must turn their focus now to the A-League men's season, which begins in October. But Sydney United 58, their season, well, it gets to continue for another week. And Grace Gill, they win it 1-1 during the match, 4-3 on penalties. And here are some of the best moments. And I am pretty impressed that we've been able to nail it down to a highlights package.
Look, we talk about best moments, and weren't there just some of these this game? Western United could have put this game to bed in the first 45 minutes and punished themselves not to do so. And Sydney United came out this second 45 absolutely firing. It's fair to say had the better of the chances, and what an occasion for the club.
And this is some of the resolve we saw from them late on. Getting their bodies in the way. Nizic, can you believe that? That was right before half-time and extra time. This is in the second half of extra time. That was pretty regulation for Daniel Nizic. And then Roberts with a chance to test out Jamie Young. This was the moment. Hit the post. Agamemnonos agonisingly close. And then Trefiro blazed over. And then Gonzalez. How about that for a penalty? In a clutch moment. Straight up into the corner.
What a way to finish off this game, to win this game for Sydney United. 58. Gonzalez, the substitute, finds the cobwebs with that penalty shootout.
And finally, Sydney United 58, NSL Giants can say we have knocked out an A-League men's side. And this is how they did it. Western dominant in possession, but in terms of chances, you'd say the green and black side shaved it. But in terms of quality opportunities, Sydney United weren't without them.
Yeah, absolutely, Ben. I think, as I mentioned, that first half, Western just looked in complete control of the game, and they'll be frustrated with themselves for not putting that one away. But Sydney United, to their credit, they stuck in, they hung on, and they came back and put it away when it mattered most.
And isn't it amazing? They've had seasons where they've won grand finals, they've been the premiers of the NPL New South Wales, and in the season where it was basically a disaster for Sydney United 58, missed the finals, lost the Waratah Cup final, and they beat A-League's opposition. It's so funny how these things play out, Grayskill. I feel like we need to keep going, but we do have to wrap it up. Don't forget that Peninsula Power taking on Green Gully. That is live right now, that all NPL showdown. Grayskill, thank you for your company. What a match that was, and such a pleasure to watch it with you and commentate that classic cup clash.
Thanks so much, Ben, and it's been an absolute pleasure being alongside you for this one.
Thanks, Grace. Hope you guys enjoyed it on 10 Play. Do not forget Peninsula Power and Green Gully. That's live now on 10 Play. The final 4 matches in the round of 16 coming up on Wednesday night, followed by the draw for the quarterfinals. Thanks for your company. We'll catch you soon in the Australia Cup.